stories of the men who are the guardians of the law. Their motto, maintain the right. Stories of their courage. Stories of their lives filled with hazard, romance, and adventure. The RCMP story this week.
Yes, I'm going to put up a comical video, obviously created by a Republican, about crazy left-wing politicians in Vermont. It should be good for comical relief, but pay careful attention to Peter Stevenson, the last fella mentioned. Now, I cross paths with every one of those politicians and can easily prove it, but young Stevenson actually spent time in my home, Christmas time, 2004, brought a bunch of DVDs that he wanted me to watch about Michael Rupert, etc., about 9/11, and I told him I'd already crossed paths with Rupert and Jim Felser and all the 9/11 crowd. In fact, I even crossed paths with the 9/11 Commission in the FBI there. Anybody recall, I'd sent my stuff to Ted Olson. He'd lost his wife supposedly in the plane that went into the Pentagon, and he was Solicitor General, and I sent him my stuff April Fool's Day 2004, 1-year anniversary of his buddies trying to take me to Guantanamo. And while I was running for Parliament in Canada, Olson quit. Nobody would say why, but everybody knew he bullshitted about his wife calling on the cell phone. I don't know why Frontline Canada finds that big news last fall. I mean, that's been well known for a long time. Anybody try to use a cell phone from an airplane? Duh. Anyway, that said, no 9/11 truthers, they never asked me about Ted Olson or nothing. They all sooner listen to idiots like Alex Jones. Anyway, Vermont. Anyway, in October of 2004, after I came screaming out of that Yankee jail in Boston, and I find it kind of interesting, the mayor of Dorchester, which is where I was in court, the mayor now is T.J. Burke, our former Attorney General's, I think, is directly related to him, if not his son. There's too many indications of that fact. T.J. Burke talks about having a brother lose a leg or whatever in Iraq, and Mayor T.J. Burke in Dorchester, Massachusetts, had a son that lost a leg. Anyway, everybody knows that Whitey Bulger did most of his killings around Dorchester and around our home in Milton. And everybody knows I got the damn wiretap tapes. But why I enjoy this video about Vermont is because the Republicans, in their infinite wisdom with the Department of Homeland Security, placed their head office in Vermont for their border services guys. Now, the border service guy around here that I torture is an asshole named Patrick Murphy. He's too chicken to come to the phone or answer emails. And I talk to his many associates, but they won't give me their names. They just keep inviting me to America. Appears they want another stab at locking me up. Anyway, as far as Canada goes, on this side of the 49th, there was a deputy commissioner. I don't know if he's still got his job or retired. It's been a couple of years, but his name was Mike McDonald, excuse me. And then there's an inspector or whatever, Mike McDonald. Now, one was the deputy commissioner in charge of national security, and the other one was Zach's assistant. Now, when Zach had to suddenly quit and run off to Africa, Bev Bosson got the job, and then there was a Pierre Leduc that replaced Mike McDonald, and Mike McDonald went on to guard the House of Commons, and I'm sure Byron Pryor met him because he protested up there. And then inside the House of Commons, you have a former RCMP officer from New Brunswick, Kevin Vickers, who's Sergeant at Arms. He says he remembers me from a past life. Of that, I have no doubt. He was guarding the Lieutenant Governor's chaise in New Brunswick when I was illegally banished while running for Parliament in 2004. Back to Vermont, back to New Hampshire. When I come screaming out of that jail, there's a big presidential election coming, and I made a special trip through New Hampshire to Vermont. There was a neat old lady, Granny D, who I'd been in contact with, that was running as for the senator, I think against Judd, in New Hampshire. she and I talked. I went to her party. They took lots of pictures of me in my kilt and my faithful Indian companion Woody, and her hugging me and Woody and everything. It was quite a party. I also served a lot of people in New Hampshire that were running for public office. I served the lawyer that now has Charlie Bass's seat, because Charlie Bass is technically my congressman. Governor Lynch, who pretends he's a lawyer but he's not. All kinds of crooks. Most importantly, that woman, Ellen Moraney or whatever, she had a lawyer, Philip Berg, who was suing Ashcroft about what happened to her husband in 9/11. I sued all the lawyers involved in her matter, or served all the lawyers in her matter. Went on to Vermont. In Vermont, that young fellow Stevenson took an interest in me and came to visit me in Boston, because he witnessed a conversation between me and a fella. This guy had run against Howard Dean's attorney general, I think, in Vermont, and this guy was a friend of my wife's cousins, the Kickham. The young fellow took an interest. I introduced him to Byron Pryor. He made a blog about it, and now he's gone poof. Byron Pryor or I don't exist. Anyway, this is a funny video that everybody should enjoy if you understand the political scene like I do. Today, Wayne Lang, I know you should.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you
Vermont's craziest politicians. Right now, you're probably thinking, hey, I didn't know Vermont had politicians. Well, yes, we do. And here are our craziest. Let's go! In 1996, Vermont director John O'Brien made a film called Man with a Plan. The film star is first-time actor, long-time Vermont farmer, Fred Tuttle. In the film, Fred Tuttle runs for senator because a non-Vermonter is running. Now, Fred does not want this non-Vermonter to be senator, so he runs against him and wins and becomes senator of Vermont. In the movie, of course. But 2 years later, this actually happened. Fred Tuttle was almost elected senator of Vermont on the Republican ticket. After realizing he wasn't cut out for the job, he quit and let Democratic candidate Patrick Leahy win. Now that's pretty crazy. You may remember Democratic Senator Patrick Leahy from his brief cameo in Batman and Robin, or from his fight on the Senate floor with Dick Cheney, the Vice President of the free world. This next scene is a dramatic paraphrased reenactment.
Senator Leahy, fuck you. You're a fucking, fuck off.
That's right. Vice President of the United States of America, Dick Cheney, told Patrick Leahy to fuck off. Now that's pretty crazy. In addition to having our fuck turned off, Vermont is also home to the last two remaining independent congressmen, Senator Jim Jeffords and Representative Bernie Sanders. Crazy. Now, Jim Jeffords wasn't always an independent. He actually was a Republican. Until 2001, when he turned independent so that the dominant Republican Party would have one less pivotal vote. He turned on the grand old party. Crazy! Representative Bernie Sanders, well, he's a socialist. Crazy! Moving right along, we come to former governor of Vermont, Howard Dean.
Now, while governor, he was very soft-spoken and very, very normal.
Until he became the projected winner of the Democratic nominee for the presidential election.
We're going to California and Texas and New York, and we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan, and then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Crazy!
Yeah. But who will continue the craziness? Could it be Thomas Naylor, who wants to break off from the USA and form a new nation, the Second Vermont Republic?
I've been writing about Vermont independence for nearly 10 years. And more often than not, it was for an audience of one.
Or maybe Peter Stevenson, who just recently ran for Lieutenant Governor of Vermont.
It would be my privilege to work as Vermont's next Lieutenant Governor. I'm a very loyal person. I'm a hard worker, and I would do a lot for the people of the state of Vermont. They say a good friend will help you move. A really good friend will help you move a body. And my message to the people of the state of Vermont is just let me know if I need to bring a shovel. Thank you.
With great minds like these, Vermont will never run out of crazy politicians. Drive safe.